Hello everyone and welcome to There's a new tank available but it released quite a while ago but you still get a video from me video. Basically I thought that this would be another Let Me Gush video because when I first learned about the Christmas tank being a medium but not just that but being an auto reloader medium, I was like, yeah, this is just my cup of tea. And then it turned out it kind of is, but it also kind of isn't. So when I gambled away all my life savings to get the 10 charms that I needed from the snow globes to get this tank, I basically just started driving it and I aced it 5 times in a row, even though that says more about the ace bar at that time than it did about my ability to game. Upon realizing that I didn't love this tank as much as I did the carrot or the spaghetti, basically I had to compare them and to see where the differences were and how it was that these small differences between them led to the fact that I just didn't love this tank nearly as much. So basically, going over the stats, the Lion has a DPM of 2502, where the Carrot has 2788 and the Spaghetti has 2738. The Pen is 242 versus 240 for both the Carrot and the Spaghetti. The Alpha is 340, where it is 380 for the Carrot and 350 for the Spaghetti. And basically, I think this is the biggest difference. Like, the carrot is my big love. That's basically a fact that everyone knows. And the difference is the carrot has a fourth shell, and that makes a lot of difference. Like, the spaghetti has no reserve shell, so you have 3 usable shells. The carrot has the same thing, and the lion only has 2. Like, technically speaking, you can get away with using the reserve shell because it is only, and I say that in air quotes, a 17-second reload, but it is still a reserve shell. Now, the aim time of the lion is slightly longer than it is for the carrot and the spaghetti, but the dispersion is a little bit less, so it kind of evens out. The gun depression is pretty much the same for all 3 of them. The gun elevation differs a little bit. The speed, it is 1 kilometer per hour slower than the carrot, and it is 4 kilometers per hour slower than the spaghetti. So it's all just little bits, but the engine power is 840 versus 730 and 720. So it is continuously like that. The tanks are very similar, but they are different. And then we get to the armor, and that is quite different as well. Like, the turret armor for the Lion is 180 in the front, 69 in the sides, and 40 at the back. Where it is 102 in the front for the carrot, 69 on the sides, and 50 in the back. And 120 in the front, 40 on the sides, and 30 in the rear for the spaghetti. So that's very different. It creates a very different profile. And it's the same with the whole armor. It is 120 for the Lion, where it is 68 for the carrot and 60 in the spaghetti, like I'm talking from the front. And that's basically the big differences between these tanks. It is the armor profile, especially in the front, that makes a big difference. It is that full shell, or at least the 3rd usable shell, let's say, that makes a big difference as well. And I think that that's mainly where the differences lie for these tanks. And yes, they are different tanks, so they will play somewhat differently. And no, this does not mean it is a bad tank in any way, shape, or form. But that is, for me, where the difference lies between like and love. So yes, you can definitely play this like you would the carrot and like you would the spaghetti. It's just a little bit different, and you mainly have to keep in mind that you have 2 workable shells instead of 3, because that will be the big play difference. Now, of course, we can't just talk about the line without going into the snow globes. Basically, this is the snow globe tank for this year, which means that you either need to get really, really lucky, or you need to get 10 charms and basically just spend a whole lot of free XP and gold in order to get it, or maybe get lucky from the crates and get more snow globes more easily. Now, in my case, I usually hoard my stash throughout the year and know that I need to spend a lot in order to get the Christmas tank, but I'm too impatient to not get it then. So in my case, the Lion only, and I use air quotes very liberally here, cost me 14 million free XP and about 100k to 120k gold, and that is including the gold that I got from the crates, basically like with the compensation for tanks that I already had, and I needed all 10 charms to actually get it. That makes this a very, very expensive tank, and you have to wonder if it's worth it. To be fair, it really is not. If you're like me, if you've got nothing to spend your free XP on, then it's fine. But if you're not like me and you actually have like stuff to grind and all, then this is a very, very expensive tank to get and basically painful to get. Unless, of course, like I said, you're really lucky and you get it from the first or second snow globe or something like that. Of course, there is a free snow globe that you can grind for, but it takes basically a lot of no-lifing in order to get all the games in to get that globe. But you might get lucky and have something there that you didn't have before. So fingers crossed for everyone there that you either get what you want or that you get the lion, because that's the main prize, of course, from the globes. And like with all event tanks, it will eventually come back to us in the form of pretty much a crate tank usually, sometimes a gold tank, but I do expect this to come in crates at some point. And then maybe people that didn't get lucky with the snow globes might be able to get it then. And to be fair, that is one reason why I stock up throughout the year, save my gold, save my free XP and everything, to just spend it all on Christmas, because I've got a big FOMO and I just want to have the tank and just be able to use it as soon as it is there. But I do fully get that that's a luxury that a lot of people do not have, unless of course they get really lucky from the free globe that they get. So fingers crossed for that. Now, in the meantime, you've been able to watch me play a little bit in the background. I've sped up a few parts just to skip the parts that don't really matter, because I had plenty of footage for this video, so I just needed to decide which game to show and which I wouldn't. And overall, the tank just lends itself really well to the auto reloader facts, basically. You have to decide when to use your clip, or at least 2 shells in this case, and when to basically just reload single shells and everything. And you have to decide when you can use the actual reserve shell. Like, the reserve shell is basically meant to save your life, or to basically, if you're going to die anyway, then you can just get some extra damage in. But that's the choices that you have to make. When do you use it? Because if you use it like standard, you will have a reload of 17 seconds. And no one wants that when they play a tank ever. Unless, of course, you're the Death Star, but this is a tier 10 medium tank and not the Death Star. My go-to playstyle is to either ridgeline or, like this, use a little hill for protection, and also try to have a tank with me that is the primary target, so that basically they're focusing on them and not me, and that means that I can get some shots in. Now in this case, for me, the TVP seems a bigger enemy, because as an auto reloader, I stand more chance to basically murder a single shotgun as long as they give me time to reload. So I'm using my second shell to get some damage in until my teammate dies, and then I will take the time to reload both the shells, so that if he pushes me, I can murder him. And if he pushes with the TVP, I still have a good chance of murdering both. Of course, I know that I'm not alone. I've got a TD with me that is now moved forwards and pushing. And with now this Met pushing forwards, I can actually kill him off. And then again, take the time to reload both my shells. And that, of course, is the beauty of an auto-reloaded tank, because you can choose how to play it. You can choose how to use your gun. Even when you're waiting, your shots will reload, and that will give you time to decide whether you want to use it as a single shot, or if you want to use it as a clip, so to speak. And you just have so much more options with this tank. It just makes it so versatile, and every auto-reloader tank has that. But I prefer the medium auto reloaders, mainly because of the fact that they are just more versatile, because they also have the mobility to relocate more. And that is not to say that the auto reloader heavies are bad in any way, shape or form. Like, while I don't play the Kranwagen all that much, I absolutely adore the Rhinoceronte, and that's a tank that I will happily play anytime. Now I know that he's only got 2 shots left, so he shoots both of them and now he's out, and that means that I can just reload both my shells very basically patiently before I actually shoot him, because I don't need to use the single shell. I can just easily outgun him. So after I kill him, I need to head off to the other side of the battlefield, which is where basically now the last remaining enemy is. So I speed that up basically because now I'm just driving. But as I drive, my shots are reloading again. And it is more effective than a regular clip in my opinion, mainly because of the fact that you can just shoot whenever you want. You are not limited by a whole clip. As you just wait, your shells will reload, and that for me is why an auto reload is so much more fun to drive than a clip tank. So that was my little TED talk about basically auto reloaders as a whole, and my whole comparison of the line compared to the other 2 tier 10 medium auto reloaders. Am I happy that I have it? Absolutely. Will I play it often? Yes, definitely. Am I loving it more than a carrot? Absolutely not. Is it worth the amount of gold and free XP that I spend on it? I don't think any tank is, to be fair. But yes, it is a fun little tank. I'm happy to have another tier 10 auto reloading medium tank around, and I hope to see many more of them because overall those are the tanks that I love the most and will play the most. So that's my little review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you guys the next time again. Bye!